Hello, 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 friends. Nicholas here with DIVO TED Talks, Devoted Talks, depending on how you want to call it, how you want to say it, what you want to make of it. Where we take ancient wisdom and practices and take it through a modern day lens of experience so that people can see and understand their worlds differently and hopefully end the suffering in their lives and inherently end suffering more globally and more widespread. I think that was a good one. What do you think? Let me know what you think. Anyway, oh man, I have had quite a few days of just aggravation over and over and over again because of things that were out of my control. And I was having trouble finding patients because I was tired and because I've been working a lot and just a lot on my plate and a lot required of me. And it was tough. Like when I say it was tough, it was tough. You know, like I had a cat who had snuck out sometime last week while I was getting laundry, and then she was outside, and then she came in and she was skittish, which then stimulated the other two cats to be aggressive towards her. And she was peeing and pooping on the laminate floor, which is a mess and gross and stinky and not fun to clean up, especially when you don't have a lot of time. Like I have routines that, are not to the minute, but, they don't have a ton of wiggle room. We're talking like I have 20 minutes maybe that stuff can, go sideways or I can take my time with. I run a studio and a lot is going on. And for everything that happened, like I was even upset on Saturday. I went to go do something and I had left just a little bit of tea in a cup. And I don't know what the cats did because they hardly ever get on the counter, but this time they did. And they knocked over one of my favorite cups that was a mug that had been broken years ago. And I had thought about it being broken years ago. This is the manifestation I'm telling you about. And I had thought about how the very first one I got like this, I was taking stuff out to the car and it slipped and fell and broke. And it had upset me. And I was thinking about that when I was drinking out of it the other morning. And then when I came home from running errands, it was smashed in a puddle of tea from one of the cats knocking it over on the counter that they hardly ever get up on. But just so happened the days that I'm aggravated and not needing anything else to add to my plate, that's when it would happen. Yeah. Frustrations. I'm shaking my fist for those of you who are on just audio only. Anyway, I'm a firm believer in manifestation, and the things that you focus on, you're going to get more of. But beyond that, you're calling into resonance things that are not that far away from you energetically. And so not only can you reach it more easily as far as thoughts and memories because you're close in resonance to it, it makes it that much easier for it to show up and to pop into existence. And so I was thinking about how frustrating some things had been or would be, and then they came, and then they became a part of my experience. And struggle bus. I joked yesterday because when I pulled the calendar, it said that we were going into Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. But as of today, things have resolved more positively, which is nice. But I was like, maybe it was Mercury retrograde. I don't know. I'm not normally one to believe in that, but who knows? But what I do know is that what you think about, you bring about. And Ayurveda and yoga doesn't disagree with that. How it manifests is really going to be different depending on, the discipline that you're a part of, right? Ayurveda is going to acknowledge that, what you think about causes physiologic changes in your body for better or for worse. And so more negative things are going to bring about disease, whereas more positive things that fill your cup and fill you with joy are going to bring about wellness and sattva and, just overall well-being. And then furthermore, yoga is really about cleaning the slate so that we are more fully able to resonate and vibe with the things that we truly are or we have in our queue as far as manifesting. And so while it isn't directly a manifestation tool, it is very helpful and getting rid of the things that we are not, so that the things that we are, which includes the things that we want and desire, they then have space to show up for us. Now, all of this, being said, may not be what it feels like when you're going through it. And I can totally get that. And I totally understand that. But, trying to rein it in from a, more superfluous and, heady idea into something practical and, something you can easily execute on. Meditation helps us release thoughts and tensions and sticky aspects of self, so that we are more clearly able to lift our manifestation powers through high vibrations. And, a lot of our issues is that we think about a lot of things that we are not, rather than the things that we desire. And that is the biggest stumbling block and inhibitor of manifestation for us, because if we're thinking about not having something but wanting it, we are asking that it stays away, because our imagination and our energetics are about the thing not being there. And so changing our focus from where we are now and what we are seeing now to a place where we are feeling as if it's already shown up, is how they talk about it in the manifestation world. And there's so many people out there, and they talk about quantum manifestation, and they have all kinds of fun terms for it, and a lot of it's just based around getting you to buy something from them, which rock on, right? Like, if you resonate with what they're saying and it feels like you're in tune with it and it's going to help you, do it. I do the same thing with quote unquote diets, right? If you feel like what you're reading is something you can fully commit to and participate in, then do it. You should do it, because your belief around it is really going to make it that much more likely to do its work. There are some things that just work regardless, because there's a momentum in that thing or practice that is far beyond you. And so you can't really slow it down. You can only speed it up. And so, being able to take something and recognize whether it is a match for you and whether you do believe in it or not is the most important first step. And then really diving into it is the next step after that. And so manifesting is literally our entire lives. Like, your whole life is manifestation. It may be a new concept to you, but you've been doing it since you were born. Like, you cried and your parents came in, took care of you, right? Like, you were manifesting that as a baby, but it was an instinctual thing. And then eventually became a learned thing based on circumstances, right? And sometimes home life can be dysfunctional or sideways. And so you learn how to work within those structures, for better or for worse. And then sometimes later in life, you have to unlearn those. Some people never do. But manifestation is you. You literally are a manifestation machine. You decide to do something and your body does it. Whether it's moving, whether it's thinking, whether it's turning something on or turning something off, you are manifesting constantly. But beyond that, how many times have you been like, oh, I thought of somebody and wow, they just showed up out of nowhere? Or in my case, I thought about that mug breaking and I didn't have much resistance to that thought and it manifested soon after. And I've been picking up on that a lot lately, where I'm thinking about things I don't want to have happen or things that I didn't like happening. And then they happen again. And I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Why do I do this to myself? We do it to ourselves because we're not actually honing the skill, because we take it for granted because it's something that's just always happened. And if you choose to work with somebody or follow their program that teaches you how to become more aware of it or conscious of it, that's cool. I like the Silva mind control method. That's a really cool one. And it does a lot of good things, especially, and most importantly, in my opinion, making people feel better overall. So my friends, my wish for you is to recognize that all day, every day, you are constantly experiencing the manifestations of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So if you are now aware of that, how would you change the way you're doing things so that you can have a life that you could be well and be free?